right, everybody, here we go. Today's guest is someone I've admired for a long time, not just for his sharp comedic timing, but for the way he brings intensity and soul to every single role. He's won 3 Emmys. He's won a Golden Globe. Now he's selling out shows as a stand-up comedian. Please welcome our new friend, Jeremy Piven.
Thank you so much. Thank you for showing up, everybody.
Welcome back to Portland.
Oh, man, it's good to be here. I have a droopy microphone. There we go. Let's pep it up a bit.
We may have an ailment. So glad you're here. Let's just start at the beginning. Before the
Yeah.
Emmys and the shouting, you've had such a wide-ranging career. So let's go back to those early days because, ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy Piven's done everything from Shakespeare to sitcoms to film. He's done everything. Do you remember your very first time on stage in front of an audience?
Yeah, I was 8 years old, and I got up on stage with my parents. We were doing, I was butchering Chekhov. I butchered a lot of great works of art.
As an 8-year-old?
My whole life, I still am. Yeah, my parents have a theater called the Piven Theater, and I got up there, and they needed a kid. So the only kids around were me and this guy named John Cusack, and so we switched off. One night I would play it, and then I gave him the costume, and he would jump up and play it. And yeah, you know, it's like what you and I talked about earlier before. You know, we got up on stage. I said we can do no wrong, even if there's a mistake, it's a beautiful mistake.
Yeah, I said, Jeremy, what happens if I completely bomb?
Yeah, and I said there's no way we can do no wrong, and that's kind of the mantra in a way that my parents had growing up was that, you know, you're enough. Whatever you're bringing is enough, and that just instills a lot of confidence to be present.
And they trained a generation of actors, didn't they?
Yeah.
So everybody in your family is involved in show business, was involved in show business. What was the conversation like around the dinner table? Was everybody running lines or?
Most kids, you know, growing up in the Midwest, it was, are you going to mow the lawn? Are you going to shovel the snow? And with me, it was, you really going to play it that way? Really? That's what the conversations. My father would say, you're going to play it like that.
Wow.
You're going to do it over the top. And
that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, really. That's the way you're going to. And it was a lot of pressure. But the thing is, it was tough love. And he was basically being honest with me, and as a director and a teacher, and you know, as a kid, it made me work harder. We're living in times now where a lot of people are leading with their feelings, and everyone is very aware of their feelings, and some people are holding other people hostage with their feelings, and I just grew up in a time where. That wasn't the case at all. There were no participation trophies.
Right, me too. Yeah.
Yeah. You had to hunt and kill your own food, oddly enough. Weird time.
Well, you watch these singing competition shows like American Idol and like the audition process, and some of the singers are just horrible. They needed someone like your dad to be honest with them. It's like, you're not a good singer.
Well,
or work harder.
Yeah, but even with a show like that, ultimately, there's something about it that, you have to go through the process and you either thrive or you don't based on your performance. So I guess what I was saying about growing up is my father was, you know, he didn't ask me to do anything that he wasn't doing or did do. And he just wanted me to be the best version of myself as a performer and work on my highest level. And he pushed me and you know, bless him for doing that. And my mom was different. I don't want to say it was good cop, bad cop, but she would, when she was directing me, she would tell me all the things that she thought went right. And then she would ask me a question, and that question was really a direction disguised as a question. So then if I answered the question, I was like, oh, okay, that's what I should be doing here. And so it was an amazing, like, Tai Chi, you know, martial artist way of giving me a direction like water. I didn't even know I was getting it. So there was a good duality with my parents.
Yeah, sounds like it. So after those early days on stage, you started landing some great roles on sitcoms like Ellen and The Larry Sanders Show, Seinfeld, Pride and Joy. What did those experiences, those early
I feel like
experiences...
this is your life.
I know. On sitcoms. That's what I was hoping for. What did that teach you?
Wow. It taught me. This is dangerous territory. It's so interesting. We're living in times where you have to watch what you say. It's so weird. I just want to when you guys come and see me at the Roseland, watch this very organic transition.
Beautiful.
When you guys come see me Friday night at the Roseland Theater, I'll drop the gloves and I'm going to say everything, and I'm going to be totally truthful, and that's what's so beautiful about stand-up is our highest vibration is authenticity, and I think if you're authentic and people really gravitate towards it, and it's really exciting. But here it's like in an interview, like I look at those things and I want to say certain things, and I don't want them to be taken in the wrong way. Oh, fuck it. Here's what I'll say.
Finally, we've been waiting. Yeah.
No, it's interesting because what happens to you in life is like I really used to really care about being understood, and I think that can be a trap. And I think it's better to understand than to be understood ultimately. But on Ellen, I didn't have much to do. And she's this wow, she's this great stand-up comic. I mean, she's been doing it forever.
She's awesome.
Forever and ever and ever. I wish she would do more of it. And that sitcom was obviously designed for her, and I was a set piece. And, they didn't really have any room for me. They didn't know what to do with me, and it was, and so what that does is that can do two things, I think, to a performer. It can either discourage them, or it can really, continue to inspire you to find something that you can really invest, yourself, your everything you got, and emotionally and everything. Because I just felt I had so much to give, and there wasn't enough room for me, and that happens.
Yeah.
So you just keep grinding, and then, then Ari Gold opens up, and then, a role like Entourage, I'm able to show a bit of what I'm capable of doing.
One of my guilty pleasure TV shows is Seinfeld. I watch at least an episode every single day.
Oh, my God.
So I got to just ask you these questions about Seinfeld, because if you didn't see the episode, I find that hard to believe. But Jeremy auditions to be the fake George Costanza. They're working on the pilot called Jerry, and you're auditioning to be George Costanza. And somebody told me, or I read somewhere, that you had never even seen the show.
I still haven't seen it. I'm not kidding. No. Here's the deal. I know how good it is. I've seen moments of it, and I can just tell it's brilliant. I can tell that Larry David is a genius, and obviously Jerry is, and they're all Michael Richards. They're all insanely talented. It's an iconic show. It's brilliant, and I could see it. I don't have any more room to watch. I wish I could set aside. It's a decade of shows,
right? Yeah.
23
It's
episodes. Yeah, it is a very huge commitment, and I just still had the mentality of a broke Chicago journeyman actor when I was doing that show.
You were doing another show at the time, weren't you?
I was a regular on the Larry Sanders Show, but I still thought I was broke. And I was living in a pool house. I swear to you. And the showrunner of the Larry Sanders Show came over and goes, "What are you doing, man? You're on a TV show and you don't have a TV. Like, what is wrong with you?" And I just had to, it took me a minute to kind of, get rid of that mindset. I still have that mindset. Look, you saw me. I have flyers.
Yeah.
I'm going to go right from here to handing out flyers on the street.
You're hustling.
For my show. And that's just, that mentality is,
it's been with you
it's
your
hard
whole
to
life.
shake.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to shake. Because the thing is, it's a big theater, and I just don't want to leave and have people say, "Oh, we didn't know you were here." If they know I'm here and they don't want to see me, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if they don't know I'm here and they want to see me, let's get the word out. So it's up to you guys, basically, is what I'm saying. No pressure, but
I did mention it a couple times on my morning show this
there
morning.
you go.
And, you know, doing what I can. I'll mention it again tomorrow.
No, we're here. Listen, I appreciate you. This is how much I appreciate this. I'll give you my perspective. I come from a theater family, and you know, we had no money. And by the way, I didn't know we didn't have any money. I thought we were rich.
I think every kid kind of thinks that, I think.
Well,
yeah.
and I was living in an old folks home. We grew up. I thought everyone had a neck brace. I thought literally, everyone was so old. I was like, oh, this is interesting.
You were living in an old folks home?
Yes, because that's where you could get a really great bargain.
Oh.
And my parents were theater actors.
So yeah.
But I didn't know. You don't know. You're like, this is cool.
Probably
Like
was
everyone's
good for-
moving really slowly, but it's fun.
Did that ever help with any characters?
I mean, of course
It
it,
had to
did.
have.
Yeah, I mean, it totally did. So, my father, I saw him backstage at our theater, and everyone was on scholarship. That's part of why we didn't have any money. That's it.
Because they weren't paying anything.
They
right?
were, yeah, they didn't. We didn't understand business.
Not a great business model.
We don't understand. Yeah, we're artists, and the two rarely match up.
Right.
So I remember seeing my father on a rotary phone. I'm not making this up. Calling people out of the phone book, and asking them to come and see our shows. That was how we promoted. And now I get to do stuff like this. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate this.
Well, you mentioned Larry Sanders. Well, actually, I want to talk about Curb. Larry David. I had a little brain problem there. Larry David. When I watch Curb, I think to myself, it's kind of like how I think about Ari Gold. How freeing that would be to go through life, just being able to say whatever you want to anybody. Is that what you're doing now when you're doing stand-up?
Yeah, it's so fascinating because my whole life I've been pitching jokes and ideas at every show I've ever done, except Seinfeld. Seinfeld, it was so succinct and perfect, and I just kind of showed up and you know played that role.
It was your body language as much as anything in that role.
I'd never seen the show,
Which is
and I was
amazing.
playing a character on the show.
That's crazy.
So it's all very surreal. But so I guess in terms of stand-up, you know, my mom would say, what's the best moment for your questions or information to be received? So you watch someone, and if they're in a terrible mood and they're storming around, you give them a minute. You don't bound up to them and say, "Can I have a raise?" You know, you got to like find your moments. And so I was always, it's a lot of energy to just, when's the right moment to pitch these jokes? And so I finally went, wait, what am I doing? Why don't I just throw myself into stand-up? And so I've been touring, you know, for, you know, people don't know it. And then I just thought, I got to let people know I'm a stand-up, so I just filmed my special in Chicago.
The Vic Theater,
The Vic Theater, the beautiful Vic Theater. And we're editing it right now, and it's just really exciting to go through that process and then have people know what I do. So this is like, you know, and you know, what I will say to anyone is, anyone that tells you you're too old to do something, don't listen to them, because you're never too old to do anything, because on paper, I'm too old to do everything. and you know, who cares? Like, I know I'm jumping timelines with you, but it organically goes into the best work of my life, which comes out in October, a movie called The Performance, where my mother gave me a short story out of The New Yorker by Arthur Miller called The Performance. It's about a Jewish tap dancer in 1937.
We have the trailer all queued up and ready to go. Can we play it?
Let's play the trailer.
Your performance is just
See,
spectacular.
but by the way, I thought that was a joke, because usually when you're on comedy, they'll go, let's go to a clip, and there is no clip.
We're going to go to a
So
clip.
there actually is a clip.
There's a clip. This is
What?
fantastic.
Ever since I started in this godforsaken business, I've been polite and nice, you know. I've said yes, sir, and no, sir. And it's okay that you underpaid me, because I love to dance. We're broke. Gave me a couple ideas that can get us back into the palace.
Alice, Harold, let it go. Help me. You are a true artist. How would you like to perform at the Kick Club?
Kick Club in Berlin?
One performance.
Who do you work for, exactly?
From the top!
is my great pleasure to extend an invitation to you to represent Germany on the world stage.
Harold doesn't even look Jewish.
We'll be in and out in 2 days.
People like you are trying to get out of there. Do any of you read a goddamn newspaper? Wake up! I've never had a house. I've never had a family.
You're gonna tell me I can't go for what I deserve.
Let's go out there and give them a show.
The show must go on, yes?
Yeah.
Well, it got a lot better from that point on. It's already fantastic. Yes. Uh-oh. Jeremy Piven.
Okay.
Fantastic. Should we?
Well, I don't have my tap shoes, so I thought I would play with my hands instead of my feet. So here's what's so brilliant about that is it obviously leaves you wanting more, and it doesn't tell you, what happens in this script. And so, just in terms of like what I was saying, you're never too old. Like, I've been working on this for 15 years.
What drew you to this character?
Well, my mom said there's something. This is a great role for you, and she's. When she says something, it really lands. It really means something. It has weight. And, man, she was right. It's the best role of my life so far. And I read the character, and it was, people say to me, and you haven't yet, to your credit, but they always go, how much are you like Ari Gold? And in other words, how much of an asshole are you? That's what the question really is. And, Ari Gold exists. He's Ari Emanuel. He's a real character. That's the kind of captain of the industry, and doing brilliantly at it. And he is Ari Gold in every way, shape, and form. And I'm a stage actor from Chicago, and Harold May is a tap dancer from Brooklyn who is not getting younger, and his work isn't being seen, and he can't. He lives in this kind of little shack, and he doesn't have a family yet, and like he'll do whatever it takes to get the word out about his performing. And I identify with this character more than any character I've ever played in my life.
He's a hustler, like you.
Yeah, and also the real question of the movie is how much of yourself will you compromise for success? And he's willing to hide his identity and dance for Hitler. And it's so heavy and powerful. And also, we're living in times right now where, there's a lot going on in the world, and a lot of hate and confusion and division. And if I can bring the way that I can contribute, people say to me, your silence is violence, because I'm silent on certainly on the Israeli-Palestine front. And the reality is, I'm an actor, and that's what I'm qualified to do.
Right.
And a lot of people feel like they're qualified experts on the Middle East, and they don't know a lot about the history. And it's interesting. And I'm really, really interested in the truth. I am absolutely available to have my mind changed at any moment. Let's all sit down and figure out what's really going on, because we're living in times where we're getting a lot of information and we can't trust it all. No. So the way that I can contribute to the conversation is by telling a story that takes place, just before the Holocaust. So this isn't a didactic story where we're trying to get you to feel or see things differently about modern day politics. It takes place with the backdrop of the Holocaust and what it's like to hide your Jewishness at a time when 6 million Jews were killed. And if you don't think that happened, then let's talk about that, and let's uncover some history, and then that can maybe inform where we're at today. And also, the Robert Carlyle, who you saw, who you didn't even know it was him, and he does a perfect German accent.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, he is scary and brilliant in this film. Unbelievable. So good that he raises my game, and it's the best performance of my life. You saw the reviews. It was a total and absolute honor. And so basically, one of the real reasons I did this is it shows the absurdity of hate the story itself reveals it. And it's the power of storytelling. And it sounds so pretentious. And yet I just thought if I could pull this off, and I did. So we made a miracle. And then now we need another miracle to happen, which is we need to put it in theaters, hopefully in October. And it'll take on a life of its own because people all need to see something good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've taken our hard-earned money. We've gone to see The Rock. And it hasn't.
Here we go.
We've done it. We did it. And now and people are gravitating towards great stories.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why movies like Anora have done so well, and why the industry is looking at these movies going, well, hold on a second. You can make these beautiful films for a cost. People will come and see it. You can make money, and they're great, and it's profitable. It's like everyone's looking for that layup, that easy kind of like, well, let's just spend $300 on the next Mission Impossible. But it's like, well, do you know how many movies you can make for $300 million?
I don't know if you could tell from the portion of the trailer you saw, but you're a tap dancer in the film.
Yeah.
Are you a tap dancer in real life? Have you studied dance at all?
Well, here's what happened. Prior to this project, I hadn't. And so what happens is when you make an independent film, in this case, I learned the hard way. I could literally write a book or do a documentary on independent filmmaking now and show all you guys what not to do and save you a lot of time just because I had no idea what I was doing, not a clue. And for whatever reason, I wasn't getting any help. And by the way, that's life. And that was a gift because I had to struggle and figure out how to get the money. And, so the whole process took me 15 years. So 10 of those years I spent tap dancing because every year they said, no, I just kept tap dancing. There was a guy on the street dancing, this guy, Jared Grimes, who's a genius. And he was my tap teacher. And then he choreographed the movie. And, man, it's just a beautiful lesson. Like, they keep saying no, and I keep getting better at tap. You know what I mean? So
worked out.
It did work out, and people are not going to see it coming with me at all. They're going to be like, Ari can't tap. And it's like, well, because I can rail against the universe of being misunderstood or having you think I'm Ari and really know that I have range as an actor and all the stuff, or I can get after it and find the project and do it myself. And it's easier said than done, but we did it.
You filmed in Austria and Hungary, is that right?
No, it looks like Austria because Slovakia and Bratislava looks like Austria, and Austria looks like Berlin. So it was set in Berlin, and Austria is like a sister of Berlin, and Bratislava is a cousin of Austria. You do the math on that.
My head
I can't
hurts.
do the math on that.
Ouch. Just before we get off this topic, I would think of all the different dance styles, tap has got to be the toughest, certainly one of the toughest to learn.
Yeah, it is for sure. As you could hear, I can't play the drums, and I've been playing my whole... Why is that funny?
He's actually a fantastic drummer.
Listen, there's no... Well,
there's no cymbals.
That just blew up in my face. No, I've been been playing the drums on and off for
that
my
had to
whole.
help.
I'm not Dave Grohl, but I do love Dave Grohl, so I've been playing, and I'm sitting in the pocket, and I have rhythm. So that was my entrance into tap in the way that like I could always understand rhythmically what I'm trying to get to. Worst case scenario, I miss a few steps, I can stick the landing. Diddle 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 da. I know exactly because I'm a drummer. So I could at least be delusional enough to begin the process. Because the reality is, famously, some of the best dancers in the world have quit tap. Michael Jackson. He quit tap and because I understand.
It's tough.
If I didn't, have this project as a goal. I never would have. You're in a class with 8-year-old girls in tutus, and they're schooling you. It's humiliating.
Do you enjoy it at this point, tap dancing? Or does it feel like a chore or something you need to do for a job?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel like a chore at all. It's just what I do is I keep my ankles loose by I always tap wherever I could find the elevators are the best place because they have that floor.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can hear it. And the way that I knew I became a tap dancer was the first few years I would always try in elevators. And people would look at me and sometimes be like, "Are you okay?" There
were other people in the elevator with you?
Yeah. And I'm shameless, man. But they would say "Are you okay?" They thought maybe I had an affliction. No, seriously, they didn't. They thought they didn't know what to think. And then I started hearing, "Oh, you're a tapper," and I was like, "Oh, okay." These sounds are starting. People are starting to. It's starting to take shape.
So the performance in theaters in October.
Yes, from your mouth to God's ears.
Yeah. And please do yourselves a favor, find the entire trailer and watch it. It's online. It's just fantastic. I was like, is that Jeremy Piven? Oh my God.
Yeah, you're really not going to see it coming.
Yeah.
Because listen, when I pitched it in the room, they all laughed in my face. They can imagine some dude, some rich hedge fund dude, bro. I got brunch with Ari on Sunday, bro. He's going to pitch me something. Where's he going to pitch you? I don't know, bro.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be good. It's going to be him yelling at some dude. He's such a douche. Hey, what do you got for us, bro? I play a Jewish tap dancer. Yeah, can I get a check, please?
All right, well, let's talk about Entourage. We got to talk about Entourage a little bit. Do we have our next video clip ready to go?
Let's go.
Well, let's have just a quick look, and there may be some profanity in this clip, so I apologize in advance.
I don't.
Let's 60 seconds with Ari Gold from Entourage, everybody.
Uh-oh. Okay.
You wish. 6% body fat. Achieve that when you're 40 and I'll give you $100,000. When'd you get in?
You shitty dime store therapist. A man's life is on the line here, and all you give a fuck about is beating some stupid club record that will do what for you? Give you 5 minutes of pleasure while you fuck your underpaid emasculated husband tonight? How the fuck does he afford this place anyway? Isn't he a guidance counselor at a high school?
That anger you were worried about?
Yeah.
I think it's back.
I'm calling to tell you that I blame you for every bad thing that's ever happened to Vince, and every bad thing that ever could happen to him for the rest of his life. You're the unfucking lucky charm. You hear me? You should never utter the words, "I found a good script," because you have no idea what a good fucking script looks like. Live with that.
Billy Walsh script.
Lloyd, I can't hear you.
Did you get the Billy Walsh script?
Shut the fuck up, Lloyd! Come and join us in a group hug. Could be a while before you get some. Oh, come on, I was just teasing, Lloyd. It was a joke. I'll be right back. Lloyd! Lloyd!
Jeremy Piven, everybody.
Yay.
Do people still shout Lloyd at you at airports? Does that still happen?
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. I don't really look at clips, so there was no choice just now. We had to look at that.
Didn't warn you.
And no, it's just I'm very hard on myself, so it's cool just to look at that and just go, okay, yeah, it was all working, for various reasons. But you got, anyway. People yell at let's hug it out, bitch.
Yeah.
Do they drive that way in Tiananmen Square? That's a weird one.
That's a
No,
classic.
just a lot of Lloyds, but also when I'm performing, people yell.
During your stand-up?
Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
Well, it's interesting because that's one of the stand-ups are it's I have so much respect for them, having thrown myself into this, because it's not just you got to come up with the material and continuously work and craft it and then perform it and you find the best way to navigate it. But they could just step on your punchline.
Yeah.
How do you then regroup in real time? And the best at it is Jerry Seinfeld.
He's fantastic. Yeah, I've seen him many times live.
Yeah, and I don't know if you have seen these clips or maybe were there when the Free Palestine protesters,
that was very recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, they stopped his show, and he's in the middle. You know, Jerry has nothing to do with Israeli politics. He's an American Jew living in New York, but apparently they thought that they should protest him in the middle of his show, and all these people that paid all this money. And it was very interesting because I saw him recently, and I asked him, how did you navigate that so perfectly? Because what he did was they started screaming, you know, Free Palestine, and everything stopped. And he said, you know, you and I are looking for the same thing. You and I both want the same thing. Yeah. We're both looking for an audience. you know? And, you know, you hear that? I'm doing well. You're not doing well. And
he didn't get angry.
Not only did he not get angry, but he took their point of view, thought about, okay, what are they looking for? They're looking for an audience, just like me. Okay, we're the same. But what they're saying, this isn't the right setting.
Right.
So he, in real time, had enough empathy to, you know, execute that, and then ultimately speak to the reality that he's crushing on stage. There's 11 jokes in that right there. The Jew says that he's killing to a palace. I mean, my God, it's so layered. This joke is so layered. And also a talk for another time, this whole thing that's going on. But I just said, how did you pull that off? And the cool thing about guys like that is, in my life, is I'm very, very curious, and I have no ego, so I just love to ask questions. And I think they see that I really care and I work hard, and so they all my questions are answered. And you know, he said, "Look at you. You know, you got to give these people as much empathy as possible, and from that, everything will be revealed." And he's right. Because it's only human nature to get furious. Yeah. You're at work, right. And someone is stopping you.
What if I came to your job and did that as your job?
Yeah.
It's a classic Jerry Seinfeld line, yeah.
Right. And then you could then, you know, say so many hurtful, funny, but well, where could you go? And he took the high road in such a brilliant and funny and masterful way. So I can go to guys like that to answer your question, how do I do it? Like, yeah, I've been on stage for 50 years, so that's crazy. Half a century. Wow, that's daunting. So that stage is my home, and I love telling jokes and being funny. But like, you know, really crafting an hour set and navigating it and having people scream is, you know, it takes doing 5 to 8 shows a week, a couple hundred shows a year.
You talked about working for 15 years on the film The Performance. How long does it take to come up with an hour set for stand-up comedy?
Everyone is different. You know, it took me years and years and years.
Is this something you've always wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, I've always I grew up watching, you know, Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy.
Oh, remember those specials, his Eddie Murphy specials? Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I mean, he was so fun, undeniably funny, and he was so funny that we would go buy a ticket to the movies to watch him do a live stand-up. Imagine that.
Yeah.
They're having trouble getting people to the movies to watch a movie.
Right. Yeah.
So he knows how hard it is, and that's why you don't see him running back to it. You know, he's living a beautiful life and makes his movies, and he knows, like, he's the best in the game, but he's got to get up there. I mean, does Eddie Murphy want to go to the Rusty Chuckle Bucket in Des Moines, Iowa, and work on his 1 hour set?
Is that a real club?
It's not a real club, but it should be.
It could be.
You know, it's all part of it, though. It's a gift, and you know, I did get to skip some steps, but I didn't skip a single step as an actor. In fact, I went back and retreaded and all of those steps over and over and over and over again. So I've been on, you know, grinding my whole life, and it's all led me to this. And I do have a lot of respect for the form, and I'm editing the special now, and I love it.
Jeremy's show is tomorrow night at the Roseland Theater. If there's any tickets left, please snag them. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you.
That was fun.
Jeremy Piven, everybody.
Thank you, guys.